All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, my YouTube family. Good afternoon, Clubhouse. I see you. I see you. Thank you for joining me at 5 o'clock here on the East Coast. I see you, Twitter. I see you, Facebook. Thank you for joining me. Thank you. I'm going to invite you to the stage to help me with the algorithms. I see you, Clubhouse family. I see you, Clubhouse family. Thank y'all for joining me. Good afternoon, Facebook and Twitter, YouTube. I see you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for coming on in. Please follow this. Please follow this. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe on YouTube. Hit that notification and share, family. You know what time it is. It is Keeping Up with Congress. When I tell you this last week was one of the most probably stressful weeks I've had in a long time. It really was. This campaign trail is something else. Hey, family, I see you, family. Thank you for chiming in. It is something else. We are riding this way to the United States Senate, May 24th, 2022. May 24th, 2022 is election day. And I tell you, we got 7 months ahead of us. 7 months ahead of us. We got work to do. So let's dive in. I come to you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right here, keeping up with Congress. When I don't come to you, just know your girl is busy. I do this from the time I wake up until the time I go to bed. This is it, y'all. This is it. 7 months. We don't have time to waste. We don't have time to play. Every day it is riding this campaign trail, making sure that we are able to compete and win our race to the United States Senate. And again, I do keeping up with Congress because we will not, and I repeat, we will not get reparations without negotiations. We won't. We got to know who the players are. We got to know the game. We got to know their sweet spots. We got to know what makes them tick, because I'm going there to negotiate. We're going to wield our power, and I'm going there to negotiate. They want something. Yep. But guess what we want? Reparations, y'all. Reparations. My goal is not to be a career politician. I'm hopeful one day my sons will marry some wonderful women and have me some beautiful grandbabies, and I get to be a grandmama. I'm not spending my life, I pray not, my entire life stressed out fighting these people. So let's make this happen. Let's make this happen. 2022, y'all. May 24th, 2022. So let's dive in. On Mondays, I get an update about the different hearings that are taking place in Congress. So let's dive in. So this coming Tuesday, tomorrow, October the 19th, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, hearings to examine the nomination of Chris Magnus of Arizona to be Commissioner of the U.S. Customs and Border Protection Department of Homeland Security. So this is in the Senate Finance Committee. This is on tomorrow, Tuesday, October the 19th at 9:30 a.m. And I found this interesting because all that is happening at the border and the Haitians that were just returned. I made a comment on Facebook that poof, they were gone. They were there, thousands and thousands of Haitians at the border, and poof, they were gone. And it is radio silent, y'all. Like, what happened to the Haitians? What happened to those people? Because we hear absolutely nothing about what happened to those people. So let's find out who this new commissioner is of the U.S. Custom and Borders Protection. Who's going to be down there in control? That's tomorrow morning, y'all, October 19th, 9:30 a.m. Another hearing is the hearing to examine the health insurance coverage in America, focusing on the current and future role of federal programs. This is another Senate Finance Committee hearing. It is on October the 20th. That is Wednesday, 10 o'clock a.m. Hearings to examine health insurance coverage in America, focusing on the current and future role of federal programs. Another Senate committee hearing. This is the Senate Environment and Public Works Committee. This is on the 20th, Wednesday the 20th, 10 o'clock a.m. The hearing to examine evaluating the federal response to the persistence and impacts of PFAS chemicals on our environment. And I did a little research. I kind of know what the PFAS is, but I wanted you to hear what was in the news just today. This PFAS, this means this really is these toxic chemicals. And there was an article in the news today that these toxic chemicals are everywhere. So this is an article that I found. It says on Monday, that's today, the Environmental Protection Agency announced a 3-year initiative to regulate PFAS, this PFAS, and restrict their use. It says U.S. manufacturers still use the chemicals, and public water systems are not required to monitor for any PFAS. So PFAS are known as forever chemicals, y'all, forever chemicals, because they never break down and remain present in the human body. The article goes on to say PFAS is a class of chemicals that have a carbon fluoride bond that makes them extremely effective, but nearly impossible to break down. PFAS are found in more than 2,300 locations around the country, according to the Environmental Working Group. It's a nonprofit advocacy group. It says the chemicals have been linked to a long list of health problems, including high cholesterol, a suppressed immune system, infertility, some cancers, and reduced efficacy of vaccines, according to the EPA. Now, it's ironic they throw in the reduced efficacy of vaccines. I don't believe in irony, y'all, but it's there. It's in the article. That's intentional. It says people consume the chemical after it leaks into the groundwater or is released into the air. Two of the biggest polluters are the Department of Defense, our own government, y'all, and the companies that manufacture the chemical, including Chemours, 3M, and DuPont. It says, but people also ingest PFAS through consumer products. The compound makes products long-lasting, waterproof, or grease-proof, and is found in food packaging like pizza boxes, as well as nonstick pans, waterproof clothes and shoes, and stain-resistant carpets. It says a recent study found that half of cosmetic products contain PFAS. So here is a quote from Mr. Scott Faber. He's the Senior Vice President for Government Affairs at the Environmental Working Group. He says that they have understood the risk of these chemicals since the 1950s, y'all. Since the 1950s, they knew these chemicals were bad. They knew they were out there. They knew they were a danger, and we're still not addressing it. So it says previous administrations have also known about the dangers of PFAS, but only preliminary action was taken. The EPA began monitoring water near contaminated sites less than a decade ago, but has done little to remedy the problem, y'all. We got work to do in this country. So I wanted to read to you about PFAS. I got a couple more paragraphs. It says the EPA regulates 90 contaminants in drinking water, but not PFAS. It says the EPA is now creating a plan to implement new national drinking water standards for PFOA and PFAS, two classes of PFAS, PFAS, by the fall of 2023. It says the EPA is also creating rules to stop companies from dumping PFAS into waterways, launching a national testing strategy, publishing toxicity assessments of PFAS chemical, and studying PFAS in fish. So y'all, this is something we have to pay very close attention to. These are chemicals that are forever, that are in the water, the air. This says this month, California banned PFAS from being used in baby and toddler products. So here's the last paragraph, and it's highlighted in red. It says, at the former naval base in Warminster, the Department of Defense tested the water in 2016 and found 36,000 parts per trillion of PFAS, far above the 70 parts per trillion the EPA recommends. So it's supposed to be 70 parts per trillion, and it's 36,000 parts per trillion. We got work to do in this country. So I wanted to bring you that. I know that was a lengthy article, but this is toxic forever chemicals. These chemicals don't decompose. They don't break down. They just stay with us forever. Keeping Up with Congress, y'all. The global supply chain. Here's another committee meeting. The global supply chain and small business trade challenges. This is the House Small Business Committee on Wednesday at 10 o'clock a.m. Enhancing public health legislation to protect children and families. This is a House committee hearing on Wednesday, 10:30 a.m., enhancing public health legislation to protect children and families. Another hearing is in the Senate Judiciary. This is the Senate Judiciary. This hearing is to examine Restoring the Voting Rights Act, focusing on protecting the Native American and Alaska Native vote. So this is a hearing to examine Restoring the Voting Rights Act, but they're focusing on protecting the Native American and Alaska Native vote. This is the Senate Judiciary Committee at 2:30, October 20th, Senate Judiciary Committee hearing. Modernizing the congressional support agencies to meet the needs of an evolving Congress. Yeah, this was rescheduled. It was rescheduled to the 21st at 9:00 a.m. That's Thursday, the 21st at 9:00 a.m. Modernizing the congressional support agencies to meet the needs of an evolving Congress. House Judiciary Committee. This is on Thursday, the 21st, October 21st at 10:00 a.m. Oversight of the United States Department of Justice, y'all. This is a House committee hearing. It's the oversight of the United States Department of Justice, y'all. So if you are interested in what's going on with the DOJ, here it is, House Judiciary Committee on this Thursday, 10:00 a.m. One more, y'all, the ERA, the Equal Rights Amendments, Achieving Constitutional Equality for All. This is the House Oversight and Reform Committee. This Thursday, 10:00 a.m. This Thursday, 10:00 a.m. If you don't know what the ERA is, this is the Equal Rights Amendment. It's a proposed amendment to the United States Constitution designed to guarantee equal legal rights for all American citizens, regardless of sex. So this is the women's equal rights. This is the women's equal rights. It seeks to end the legal distinctions between men and women in terms of divorce, property, employment, and other matters. So if you are following me right here on YouTube, you can see it on the screen. If you follow me on Facebook and Twitter, you can see here are the states that have ratified the ERA and the states that have not. So is your state one of the states? And my state is one of the states that hadn't done it. But this is Georgia, y'all. This is Georgia. And sadly, I'm not surprised. So we are almost at the quarter of the hour. I am Tamara Johnson Shealey. And y'all, I'm passing a collection plate. If you have not gone to the website, please do. Please do. We cannot win a campaign without having adequate resources to do it, y'all. I hate that it's a pay to play. I hate that, but it is what it is. I didn't invent the game. I didn't invent the rules. We just got to play to win. So if you have not gone to the website, please do go to the website, make a donation, become a volunteer, do what you can. We have 7 months, only 7 months ahead of us. That is absolutely no time. But let's get back on these House bills. Oh, we're on the Senate bills. We're in the Senate. So we have already gotten through 1,000 bills over in the House. We have gotten through 1,000 bills over in the House. My goal is to get us through 1,000 bills over in the Senate. We started Keeping Up with Congress back in January, and we have been diligent to stay on course and like I say, learn the players, learn the game, because we will not, I repeat, we will not get reparations without negotiation. So let's dive in. Senate Bill 756. Senate Bill 756. This is continuing coverage for Pre-Existing Conditions Act of 2021. Pre-Existing Conditions Act of 2021. This is Senator John Kennedy, Republican, out of Louisiana. Says this bill establishes severability between provisions relating to the requirement to maintain minimum essential health care coverage and other provisions of the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act. So this is continuing coverage for Pre-Existing Conditions Act of 2021. This is, again, Senator John Kelly. He's a Republican out of Louisiana. Senate Bill 757. Senate Bill 757 is the Relief for Survivors of Minors Act of 2021. This is Senator Warner, Mark Warner. He's a Democrat, Virginia. It says this bill creates, for the purpose of claims of Black lung benefits, a rebutable presumption that a deceased minor's death was caused by Black lung disease if such minor was totally disabled due to Black lung disease. So this is relief for survivors of the Minors Act of 2021. This is specific to Black lung disease. Again, this is Senator Warner, Mark Warner, Republican out of Virginia. I see you, my Clubhouse family. I see you, YouTube. See you, Twitter and Facebook. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me on this broadcast, Keeping Up with Congress. I'll come over to the Clubhouse space at the half hour. We got about 13 more minutes left. 13 more minutes left, and I'm coming over there. Just a few more minutes and just a few more bills. Senate Bill 758. Senate Bill 758 is Combating Global Poverty Through Energy Development Act. Combating Global Poverty Through Energy Development Act. This is Senator Barrasso. This is John Barrasso, Republican. Wyoming. Is that WY? Yes. Combating Global Poverty Through Energy Development Act. It says this bill supports the elimination of restrictions that limit support for certain energy projects at specified international financial institutions. It says specifically, this bill requires the Department of the Treasury to instruct the U.S. executive directors of certain financial institutions, y'all, to, one, oppose any restrictions on prohibition on the financing of coal, oil, natural gas, or civil nuclear energy projects, and two, seeks to rescind current restrictions or prohibitions on this financing. So this bill is about combating global poverty through Energy Development Act. This is Senator Barrasso, John Barrasso, again, Republican out of Wyoming. Senate Bill 759. Senate Bill 759 is a bill to amend the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 to extend the credit for production of refined coal. Y'all, these Republicans in this coal, you know, that's been like a point of contention because, you know, coal is quote unquote becoming obsolete, but they're not letting it go. So there's a bill to amend the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 to extend the credit for production of refined coal. This is Senator Hoven, John Hoven. He's a Republican out of North Dakota. It says this bill extends the tax credit for the production of refined coal. They just not going to let it go. Senate Bill 759. Senate Bill 760. Senate Bill 760 is the COST Act, C-O-S-T, COST Act. Senator Ernst, Joni Ernst, E-R-N-S-T, Joni Ernst. She's a Republican out of Iowa. It says this bill requires recipients of federal funds to disclose financing information relating to programs, projects, or activities carried out using such funds. This is COST, stands for Cost, Openness, and Spending Transparency Act of 2021. So it stands for Cost, Openness, and Spending Transparency Act of 2021. It says specifically, such a recipient, including a state or local government or a recipient of a federal research grant, must clearly state in any press release, request for proposal, bid solicitation, or other document describing the activity, the amount and percentage of federal funding, and the amount and percentage of non-governmental funding. So they want some openness and transparency around Congress, y'all. So that's Senator Joni Ernst, Republican out of Iowa. Senate Bill 761. Senate Bill 761. We got about 9 more minutes, about 9 more bills. Executive Branch Emissions Transparency Act. This is again Senator Ernst, Joni Ernst, Republican out of Iowa. It says this bill requires the Office of Management and Budget to establish and maintain a publicly accessible and searchable database of fossil fuel powered travel by the president, the vice president, and political appointees where such travel is on official business or paid for by a third party if the individual is appearing in their official capacity. So She wants some transparency. They got some stuff going on we don't know about. So she said Executive Branch Emission Transparency Act. Something's going on, y'all. Something's going on. She knows something. I'm curious to know what that is. Senate Bill 762, Expanding the Access to Lending Options Act. Expanding Access to Lending Options Act. This is Tim Scott, y'all. Senator Tim Scott, Republican out of South Carolina. Somebody asked a question the other day about how many U.S. senators did we have in Congress that were Black. And I could only think of course, Senator Warnock, Senator Booker. And I said 2. And the person came back, this was in a Facebook thread, and said, we have 3. I'm like, well, who is the 3rd one? I forgot about Senator Tim Scott, y'all. I'm like, and I made a joke. I'm like, do we count him? Do we count Senator Tim Scott? So yeah, he's the 3rd one over there. We have Senator Tim Scott, Republican out of South Carolina. It says this bill allows the National Credit Union Administration Board to increase the federal credit union loan maturity cap from 15 to 20 years. So this is Expanding Access to Lending Options Act. So this is Senator Tim Scott, Senate Bill 762. Senate Bill 763. Senate Bill 763 is the Lori Jackson Domestic Violence Survivor Protection Act. This is Senator Blumenthal, Richard Blumenthal. He's a Democrat out of Connecticut. It says this bill is to protect more victims of domestic violence by preventing their abusers from possessing or receiving firearms. So this is Senate Bill 763, the Lori Jackson Domestic Violence Survivor Protection Act. Senator Richard Blumenthal, Democrat out of Connecticut. Senate Bill 764 is the Cahoots Act, CAHOOTS, the Cahoots Act. This is Senator Ron Wyden. It says this bill allows state medical programs to cover certain community-based mobile crisis intervention services for individuals experiencing a mental health or substance abuse disorder crisis outside of a facility setting. So this is the Cahoots Act. It allows state Medicare programs to cover certain community-based mobile crisis intervention services, y'all, for people that are having a mental health crisis or a substance abuse disorder crisis. Democrat Senator Wyden out of Oregon, the Cahoots Act. So Cahoots stands for Crisis Assistance, Helping Out on the Streets Act. Senate Bill 765, Senate Bill 765, 5 more minutes, 5 more bills, everybody. I'll be over to the clubhouse space in just a few minutes. Senate Bill 765 is Keeping Women and Girls Safe from the START Act of 2021. Keeping Women and Girls Safe from the START Act of 2021. This is Senator Menendez, Robert Menendez, Democrat out of New Jersey. It says this bill requires the Department of State to carry out activities under the Safe from the START program to prevent, mitigate, and respond to gender-based violence and humanitarian emergencies around the world. So it's interesting when we spend money outside of these United States, y'all. So this is to carry out activities under the Safe from START program to prevent, mitigate, and respond to gender-based violence and humanitarian emergencies around the world. Senate Bill 765. Senate Bill 766, this is to end double taxation of successful Consumer Claims Act. End the double taxation of successful Consumer Claims Act. So this is Senator Cortez Masto. She's a Democrat out of Nevada. It says this bill allows a deduction from gross income for attorney fees and court costs in connection with the claim of a consumer protection violation. And I looked this up, y'all, because I was curious to know, like, how's this double taxation happening? So it's this legislation is to protect American consumers who sue corporations for fraud. It says the End Double Taxation for Successful Consumer Claims Act will help ensure that people who win fraud cases receive the full amount of the damages they are awarded, rather than being unfairly taxed on fees awarded to their attorneys. So this is to end double taxation in consumer fraud cases, y'all. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Senate Bill 767. Senate Bill 767 is the Home Loan Quality Transparency Act of 2021. This is Senator Cortez Masto, again, Democrat out of Nevada. It says this bill expands requirements for public disclosures by depository institutions and credit unions regarding mortgages and home equity lines of credit. So this is the Home Loan Quality Transparency Act of 2021. Senate Bill 768. Senate Bill 768 is the Better Plan Act. The Better Plan Act. This is Senator Cortez Masto, again, Democrat out of Nevada. It says this bill revises the metropolitan transportation planning process for a metropolitan area to consider projects and strategies that will enhance the integration and connectivity of the transportation system by better connecting housing to employment. It says additionally, the transportation planning process must address the integration of housing, transportation, and economic development strategies through a process that provides for effective integration based on a cooperatively developed and implemented strategy of new and existing transportation facilities. So they're making better decisions about connecting housing and employment with transportation. So this is the Better Planning and Land Use for Accessible Neighborhoods Act, or the Better Plan Act. Senator Cortez Masto, Senate Bill 768. Just a couple more minutes and a couple more bills. Senate Bill 769. Senate Bill 769 is the Housing Fairness Act of 2021. Senator Cortez Masto, again, Democrat out of Nevada. It says this bill reauthorizes through fiscal year 2032 the Fair Housing Initiatives programs and revises program reporting requirements and organization eligibility requirements. So this is Housing Fair Act of 2021. Senator Cortez Masto, again, she is a Democrat out of Nevada. Our last bill for the afternoon, Senate Bill 770. Senate Bill 770 is the Handgun Purchaser Licensing Act. This is Senator Van Hollen, Chris Van Hollen. He's a Democrat out of Maryland. It says this bill authorizes a grant program for states, local governments, and Indian tribes to implement and evaluate handgun purchaser licensing requirements. So this is Senate Bill 770. Senator Van Hollen, Chris Van Hollen, he's a Democrat out of Maryland. Remember, I told you there's certain categories of bills that we keep seeing. We see abortion bills, we see veterans, we see immigration, we see national security, we see gun legislation, and we see streamlining the processes. Those are the areas, the key areas where we see bills kind of falling, so we can kind of categorize what we're hearing and seeing and figure out who these legislators are and move accordingly. So again, when we get to Congress, we will not get reparations without negotiations, and I'm committed to negotiating with these people. So we are at the half hour. Your girl is right on time. Today, we're at the half hour. I am Tamara Johnson Shealey. Go to the website. We got a campaign to the United States Senate to win. Let's focus. Let's put our blinders on. We got 7 months ahead of us. You know, the holidays are fast approaching. When the holidays get here, you know, people just won't be paying attention to politics the way they need to be, the way we wish they would. But nevertheless, the top of the year, beginning of 2022, we got to hit it. We got to hit it hard, and we got to run strong for those 5 months straight. So I am Tamara Johnson Shealey. I'm coming over to the clubhouse space. Thank you, Waukesha and Dawn. If you are in the Atlanta area, Waukesha Howe is running for school board. Please look her up. Waukesha, if you're on, follow me right here on YouTube, put your information on Facebook and Twitter. Put your information, put your website up. Please, y'all, her election is coming up. She is running hard, running strong in Atlanta. Let's make sure we get the right people in office. Let's get the right people in office. All right. I will see you tomorrow right here for Keeping Up with Congress. Thank you for tuning in for Keeping Up with Congress. I am Tamara Johnson Shealey, your candidate for the United States Senate. I'm a progressive Democrat that believes that reparations will make America great. It is time that we bridge the divide in this country. Please go to the website. That's tamara4georgia.com. www.tamara, Tamara, Georgia spelled out.com. Please join me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here